kid's birthday party. Is this normal? Or am I being entitled? Originally posted to r/parenting on April 13th, 2019. Earlier today, I went to a birthday party for my daughter's 6th friend from school. The party was being held at Build-A-Bear, but it wasn't run by the employees. We had cake and pizza in the food court, then went down to Build-A-Bear to make bears, then back to the friend's house for the rest of the party. The invitation said each kid, about 8 total, would get to make a bear, and I just assumed they would get to take them home, since that is what happened at another Build-A-Bear party I went to. Me and my husband even pitched in about $30, as we know these things can get expensive. We get to the store, and the kids go wild getting their animals and accessories. As far as I know, the parents didn't really put a limit, but I made my daughter stick to just a standard dog with a shirt, which about half the parents did as well. All is well, we leave the store. Then friend's mom announces that the kids need to give all their animals to her daughter. Cue the upset and angry kids. They all disappointingly hand over their animals, and the friend wasn't even being nice about it either. Another little boy didn't want to, and the friend ripped it out of his hands. I probably should have said something, but I didn't. The other parents seemed pretty baffled too. We get back to the friend's house, and our kids are watching as the friend plays with all of her new animals. I left with my daughter pretty quickly, and once we got back into the car, she just started bawling. I felt bad, so we went to Build-A-Bear and got her a new one. I'm just wondering if this is totally normal, and I should have expected this, or am I being an entitled parent? No, you're not entitled. That is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Talk about raising a kid to be the most selfish, narcissistic piece of shit on this entire planet. That makes me incredibly sad. Like, that's not even the kid's fault. The parent is literally raising them to be the most awful human being on the planet. Did she outsource and child labor Build-A-Bears for her daughter? Not clickbait. If I'm OP, I'm like, you are never hanging out with this friend. Honestly, someone needs to tell those parents, bro. Someone needs to call those parents up and be like, that is the most diabolical shit that I've ever experienced in my entire life. The audacity, the absolute evil act of taking a child's Build-A-Bear creation and forcing them to give it to their daughter because it's their birthday. No way. But if anybody's sitting here like, no, that's normal. Girl, you need help. Why aren't your kids playing with mine? Those parents after this probably. If I'm OP, I'm turning this into like a learning experience for my daughter. I'm like, yo, that shit, not normal. Not okay either. The only entitled person here is the other parent. No, like, I wouldn't even blame the kid here, bro. This is all the parent. Someone needs to talk to them and be like, dog, what the fuck? Is the birthday kid even really friends with the other kids? Because it doesn't really feel like it. When I was 6, my best friend was a kid who lived a couple houses down from me. And when you're that age, I feel like it's like a friends by proximity thing. That kid was down the street from me. His mom met my mom, and they were like, oh, our kids are the same age. They can go fuck off and play GameCube together, and we can hang out and drink. So I feel like friend is kind of a loose term when you're that young. Oh shit, you guys, I forgot to turn off my music. No! Guys, I always do this. Honestly, I blame you, chat. Y'all can hear the music. I need to have this headphone on to be able to hear the music or whatever. So I blame you guys, low-key. Y'all should have let me know earlier. This is on you guys. Yeah. Shrimpy McWaddles, did you buy a present for their kid? I'd honestly consider reaching out to the mom and asking for the money back since your daughter didn't get to keep the bear. You intended to pay because you figured your daughter would be keeping the animal. Depends on how much the $30 and making a point is worth to you because this is bound to start some drama. I feel bad for the kid though because no one is going to want to come to their birthday anymore. I wouldn't ask for the present back, but I definitely call them and be like, yo, this is not proper birthday etiquette. This made your child look bad, but this is also your fault. OOP, yes, we did get her a present. I talked to one of the other moms whose child was at the party and she was really upset when her kid came home without a bear. She said she will try talking to her about it at school Monday. Someone asked if they gave any prior warning that they'd have to give the bears to the kid. OOP, nope. To my understanding, the little girl told her friends that they would get to keep their bears. At first, I thought maybe the birthday girl didn't know she would be given all of them, but judging by her attitude, maybe she did. This commenter is asking, this must sound bad, but are they weird or off in any other ways? Are they foreign or extremely poor or just super snobby, clueless rich people? This just seems so beyond the range of normal, especially if they didn't pick up on the social cues of the parents and kids being horrified by their expectations. OOP, they're big people in the community, always volunteering. They are pretty rich and do seem a little snobby and better than everyone else. I feel like that's good to know. Kind of paints the picture better of these people. This is just specifying that they didn't book this party through Build-A-Bear. It was like, we're gonna go to Build-A-Bear as a group and do this activity. Update. This afternoon at school pickup, me and another parent had a chance to talk with the mom of the party. It wasn't a long conversation, but I'll do my best to reenact it here. Mom's fake name will be Karen. Insert awkward small talk here. Karen, I hope the girls enjoyed daughter's party the other day. I know daughter had lots of fun. The other mom. Haha, yeah. I was actually wondering about the whole daughter getting all the bears thing. The kids seemed pretty upset afterwards. Karen. Oh yeah, we wanted daughter to have a special animal decorated by each of her friends. Me. Oh, okay. I was just wondering why the kids didn't get to keep their bears. I even pitched in a little bit of money, assuming the bears would go to the kids. Karen. Well, I didn't have enough money for each of the guests to make their own. That would get pretty expensive. If you want your money back, I'll see about getting it back to you. I don't really see the problem though. We wanted daughter to have a special animal decorated by each of her friends. Followed up with, we didn't have enough money for each of the guests to make their own. Is she saying like they didn't have enough money for the kids to make a Build-A-Bear for her daughter and for themselves? Me. Okay, well, the kids were forced to give away their new creations. Obviously, they are going to be upset about it. I also don't see why your daughter needs all these animals. Karen didn't respond and walked away right after, probably offended. What bothers me is she said didn't have enough money for all the kids to have one, but she did have enough for her daughter to get like 8 bears. Just doesn't really make sense. Now, I admit I'm not the most confrontational person, so I probably should have talked to her more about it. Anyways, I guess we sort of worked it out. No one's fighting, so I'm not sure I'm going to mention it to her again. Sorry this wasn't the most satisfying ending, but thanks for all the love and support. It means a lot. I've never built a Build-A-Bear. Would it be normal for someone to build a bear for someone else? Like, I could see it being like, okay, I'm gonna build a bear for my girlfriend because that's cute, but like, I can't imagine going to Build-A-Bear as a kid and like, oh, you're gonna build this bear for your friend's birthday. OP is a doormat, baby, stand up for yourself. I mean, I'm glad they tried to confront, but I feel like the confrontation was too passive. It was too like tiptoeing around the subject while trying to bring it up a little bit. Here is the thing, bro. We wanted the daughter to have a special animal decorated by each of her friends. At the end of the day, they're paying for it. It's their kids' party. I've always said, if you're gonna throw an event, it can be as ridiculous as you want to make it if like you're paying for it, right? That was my whole premise behind that girl doing the whole like, my family and best friends are in white, everybody else is in black and I'm wearing red. That story, my whole premise was kind of like, if it's your event, bro, I don't see a problem. Just expect other people to maybe judge that. That's kind of how I'm feeling here too. But the problem I have is it doesn't seem like this was communicated to anybody. It's not like this Karen was like, oh, hey, you kids are gonna go make a Build-A-Bear, then that Build-A-Bear is going to be for my daughter. It sounds like the expectation going in was everybody is gonna make their own Build-A-Bear, and then they surprise shottied the kids afterwards. If I'm a parent and I'm like, oh, my kid's gonna make your kid a Build-A-Bear for their birthday, I'd be like, maybe my kid shouldn't go. This is a weird fucking story. I can't decide if it's like miscommunication or if genuinely like this Karen gets like some sick pleasure by scamming kids out of a Build-A-Bear, you know? They never talk to the parents beforehand and just assume that they'll get a bear afterwards. Exactly. Like they didn't expectation set of what the party would be. Worst part is I know damn well those kids got attached to those Build-A-Bears and they were making them, so to rip it out of their hands afterwards is sad. I just can't believe there's human beings out there that would be woefully unaware that this was what happened. Like, even if you accidentally didn't communicate that, you would pick up on the fact that these kids are upset and then apologize or make amends or, you know, do whatever. Like, if it was actually an accident, I feel like there would be a different course of action here. I think this is almost like a power trip trip thing. It feels like they did this on purpose and they're trying to like teach their daughter to like scam the fuck out of people. Anna, I feel like all those kids were enemies of the party girl and they purposely invited them to do this. Enemies at 6 years old though? Did y'all have ops at 6 years old like that? I know I didn't. I did not have ops at the age of 6, but maybe you're right. That'd be the most devious 6-year-old in the world, bro.